So this video is about to get really personal really fast. This is a video that's going to be like way too much information and really personal, but I think it's a video that everybody needs to watch or at least like learn about. This video is about changes in my period after I went vegan. And I've been vegan for, oh my goodness, almost 4 years in August. In August it'll be 4 years of being vegan. And so I feel like this video is pretty long overdue because I did notice some significant changes in my period not long after going vegan. So I'm going to try and keep some like structure to this video, have a flow. I've got some talking points that I want to go along with. So I guess the first thing we'll start with is the physical symptoms. So when I used to get my period before, firstly they would be super irregular. So I could go, I could have, a period consecutively 2 months in a row and then go like 3 to 5 months without a period and then get another one somewhere along the way. Like I never knew when one was coming. I couldn't predict it at all. Granted, I went vegan at 15, so I probably was a little bit too young and I wasn't at that age where your period does start to regulate itself as you get older. So I probably wasn't at that age yet, but it was just all over the place. And when I did get a period, oh my god, it was so bad. Okay, so first thing was these cramps that were so debilitating that all I could do when I got up in the morning for school is just lay there for a good 20 minutes and try and hope that the ibuprofen would kick in because it hurt so bad. And I would also get lower back pain, which is apparently something that's pretty common. I've talked to some other girls that I know of, and apparently this also goes along with having cramps because all of those muscles right in that area are just kind of in pain when you're on your period because that's the natural process of what happens. Also, a lot of fatigue. I was really tired all the time, probably because the pain was so bad, it just wore me out. And then I would get into like grosser stuff here, but clots in your period, like I don't know how many of you had that before, but not only is it gross, but it's a little bit scary to like when you look down and you see that that is something that just came out of you. It's pretty gross. And then also, this is something that I've noticed after reading like some articles online and stuff. I guess it's pretty common for girls to be constipated when they're on their period. And when I first read that, I was like, constipation on your period? Like, I don't think I've ever had that, but I didn't notice it until somebody pointed it out, and I was kind of like, oh yeah, I do experience a little bit of that. Weird food cravings also was kind of, I feel like everybody craves chocolate when you're on your period. It's just because it's a stressful time, hormones, emotions are high. And speaking of emotions, like, talk about PMS, oh my goodness, I still am. I always would be such a mess on my period, and I would be like depressed for like a couple of days before and not understand why I was so sad and why like nothing in the world seemed to be going right for me. And then a couple of days later you get your period and it's like, oh yeah, that's why I was crying last night. So I feel like these are all very common symptoms that a lot of women experience. And so yeah, so just like I would cry all the time when I was on my period. Like, it was really bad. So, yeah, I feel like these are symptoms that a lot of women experience when they're on their period, myself included, my family members included, my friends included, a lot of girls that I've talked to all experience these similar symptoms. And so, basically, it was kind of a big shift when I went from, eating, I guess I didn't eat that much dairy before going vegan looking back, but I was drinking milk on cereal and having cheese on pizza and all that kind of stuff. And so when you take away all of those added hormones, you think about where milk comes from. It comes from a pregnant and or cow that has just given birth, and so that milk that is coming from the cow is meant for the baby calf. It's not meant for young girls or for teenage girls or for any humans. It's meant for the baby calf. So when you're adding, and it's got estrogen, it's got growth hormones, it's got everything that that little baby calf needs to grow into a big, healthy, strong cow. And so when we're consuming that, whether it be in the form of cheese, yogurt, or just straight up milk, it's not good for us. It's got all that extra hormones, it's got all kinds of things that we don't need. And so when you take away having all those extra hormones, your body is able to restore itself and bring its own hormone levels back to where they're supposed to be. Of course, they're always going to fluctuate throughout the month, and we know that that's the natural process of the human body, but there's no reason to be taking in extra hormones that belong to a different species of animals. There's no reason for that whatsoever. So when you take it away, I noticed cramps weren't as bad, didn't last as long. The PMS, less severe. Still had lower back pain, still had some cramps. I wasn't as tired all the time. So I noticed an overall lessening in the severity of the symptoms after cutting all the animal products out of my diet. And so now the direction that this video is going to go to is that I recently started taking hormonal birth control. And that was due to, actually I should make a whole nother video about this, but basically my main reason for starting hormonal birth control was a diagnosis of PCOS, and I feel like that will get its own video here in a minute. And so after I started taking it, oh my god, my periods are so much more manageable. And so still had the irregularity of the periods even after, 3.5 years as a vegan. And so being on hormonal birth control regulates the period, so it's like, okay, I know when it's coming and I know how long it's going to last. And I know what to expect, because before that was part of the worst part of it, was not knowing what to expect, when it was going to come. It would come, at some of the most inconvenient times, if you're at the beach with your friends and suddenly, oh, there it is. Like, that's no fun. So being able to predict when things are going to happen and when I know I will experience symptoms has given me that control back that I never, not even back, like I never had it in the first place, so you can't get it back. But it's given me a sense of control now that I have, to be able to predict what's going to happen and know how to prepare for it. So yes, when you go vegan, you can definitely expect a lessening in the symptoms, or a lessening in the severity of any symptoms that you have associated with your period. Again, veganism is not an end-all, cure-all. Like, you're still probably might get a little bit pissy. You're probably still going to crave chocolate. You might get a couple cramps here and there, but overall, I can say that it's not going to be as bad. And so, if you do have bad periods or irregular periods, I would definitely say go see your doctor, go get your blood levels and your hormone levels checked, just to make sure that everything is okay and that you're still just a normal, growing, young female human being, and that all of your parts are in working order. That should be your first order of business. And then after that, take a look at your diet. Say, okay, how much dairy, it's mostly dairy products. If you're eating a lot of dairy products, that's what's going to cause not only that, but the acne. I don't know how many girls out there break out like right before their period or when they're on it. I will definitely get a couple zits here and there. Not anymore. My skin actually is even better with the birth control, and I haven't had hardly any problems with it since then, since I started taking it. So yeah, definitely try, if you're not going to go vegan, at least try going dairy free to help out your skin and your period symptoms. And at the end of the day, it is the best diet, the healthiest diet, and it's definitely going to help you the most in the long run and help you feel your best, just to get through day-to-day life, because it's hard being a girl and it's hard getting through your period week just enough as it is. So cut out all the dairy, cut out all the extra hormones, and you'll be doing just fine.